Hello everybody and welcome to another day of the D2CL. We've got a long day as far as our Chinese broadcast goes, where we'll be looking at 3 2-game series coming out from China with a little bit of everything's actually got a touch of VG Gaming. VG Gaming will be playing their primary squad, will be playing the first 2 series, and then their potential squad will be playing the last series. Let's get ourselves into it because the draft is already underway, and it will be VG Gaming over on the Dire side. HGT is their opponent over on the Radiant side. And, well, the last time these two teams matched up, I know one of the guys in the chat before we started off today was saying, oh, didn't these guys just play the other day? And, yeah, you'd be correct. They played 4 days ago, in fact, where they played in the Star Series competition, and that's when HGT went 2-1 over the top of VG Gaming, running a slightly unconventional kind of play as far as Queen of Pain going safe lane and running a TA in the mid. The combination was a little bit unusual, but I'm happy to go with it. In fact, this draft's looking very, very similar to that, in fact, because they ran in that first game up against VG, Quap and Nechem. Would you believe we've ticked those 2 slots? And the last ones were the Rubik, the Axe, as well as the Templar Assassin. They were that was the choice of matchup from HGT. But yeah, anyway, HGT not having the greatest run of late, however. I say of late, obviously winning a game up against VG Gaming is great, but VG Gaming is still settling into their new roster since they replaced Black with Hao. But I don't foresee too much of a problem with that one. The thing is the fact that HGT were the ones that lost to DK. So this is DK with TTY, In July Super, Black Z, as well as Toot, and they ended up losing 2-0 in that matchup. Trying to run again this Templar Assassin on air. They also tried ZSMJ with Troll Warlord as well as the Ember Spirit, and both of those ended up failing. But we'll see if they can shake that loss off. That was their last game that they played yesterday, also in Star Series. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how HGT approaches this one. Right now, it looks like we're repeating history as far as our draft. The line as well as the SF, that's not repeating history because, in fact, VG Gaming didn't play either of these heroes in the entire best of 3 up against HGT just 3-4 days ago. But they're nothing to be scoffed at. Obviously, SF, fantastic mid. We always look to see him flash farm in the jungle. Look to see one of the supports as well that's capable of doing double stacks, so the SF is able to be really, really efficient inside that jungle. As far as HGT goes, with the Quap, the Chem, and the Juggernaut now arriving, they do mix up their lineup a little bit, but this will push the Queen of Pain in towards the mid. ZSMJ played both the Juggernaut as well as the Queen of Pain on the safe lane, so I'm assuming we'll be looking at the Juggernaut going into either safe or off lane, with the Queen of Pain heading into that mid to be played up by, well, technically ZSMJ could play it, but I doubt it. It'll probably go into the hands here of Air. Also have to keep in mind for future games, watching for Karkar's Wisp. Now, he played that quite a lot of recently. In fact, if I'm just going to bring up my extended notes. As far as his recent games go, we're looking at Earthshaker Omni, Trip Rubik, Double Wisp, Rubik, Double Wisp, and then we randomly toss in some VS, Rubik, a Lion, as well as a Wisp again. So HGT really have been playing a hell of a lot of Wisp. But of course, these games are also dating back until the 2nd of February. So they haven't played a hell of a lot of games, in fact, HGT. Obviously, with the Chinese New Year, everyone kind of just stopped doing everything. So, yeah, no surprise. No surprise at all. All right, so HGT, they banned out the Axe as well as the Phoenix. So they're taking out ISIS heroes. It's the only lane they can really ban up against now. It's going to be the SF Super, and then the one last left for Hal. But you just don't know what real core is going to run. And with the Queen of Pain and Juggernaut, you're going to feel fairly confident with most of the cores. A Broodmother pickup. I'm probably the most skeptical person about a Broodmother pickup in the offlane, especially when you got ways to clean up the Broodmother Spiderlings. Now, the supports from VG Gaming, there's only one that's really capable of doing that, and it's a very circumstantial clearance, which is the Shadow Wave coming out from the Dazzle. The SF is... sorry, excuse me. My voice waking up. Yeah. Okay, the SF has great
Radiant
clearance
team
against the Broodmother just because obviously raises, so the Spirelings won't be able to get on top of him, and the Storm Spirit's now got static remnants. He's also got the great ability to chase and see into the trees. I remember we had Moscow 5 were running a strat with the Night Stalker, in fact, and they ran, there was a support Night Stalker, and what they would do is they would just farm him up. He would roam around the map, get a couple of kills. Normally is quite successful at doing so. And then they give him a little bit of space in the lane to finish up what would be a 15 to 20 minute Aghanim Scepter. Which seems kind of crazy, but if he goes just rawly for that, it works. And then you have one of your supports buy the gem. And the Broodmother can't walk anywhere. She's always going to get silenced or voided. Very difficult to get away. In this case, you kind of just get the more of a shorter gap to that one. You get the chase of the Storm Spirit, who could just be given some dust or buy some dust. So he's got a way to reveal the Broodmother, and the static remnants will let him see over the tree line where the Broodmother could potentially be hiding. So VG got some great clearance, some great survivability coming in with the Dazzle Shallow Grave, and then the Shadow Fiend is nothing to be scoffed at. He can blow up practically anybody here. So yeah, I'm liking VG Gaming's draft. Their only problem is Ice, Ice, Ice. They don't have a great hero for him, so they ban out the Tidehunter. The Phoenix already out. The Bad Rider already taken out as well. I think the only thing that's really left would be something along the lines of a Timbersaw, which would be actually not that bad to be picked up. The problem would just still be the burst damage, which HGT could throw their way. Unless they feel like something else could work. You are running a Dazzle as well as a Lion, so if you did want to get really cocky, you could in fact run something a little bit more aggressive. The PL pickup from VG. So a Supers SF, when I saw the Storm Spirit, I was gonna wonder like who you want to have playing the SF. Because Super is also a fantastic Storm Spirit. But this PL pickup, it has to be the one coming the way of Ice, Ice, Ice. Oh no, they're going to give it to Hal. Which means we get what? A Storm Spirit from Ice, Ice, Ice? Okay. Try to remember the last time he played one of those, and I don't know. If I look back through it, because he did play a PL game. Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be the PL on him, because he played the PL up against DK. That was in their 2-0 result up against DK. But before that,
10 seconds remaining.
yeah, I do not have any Storm Spirits on record for him.
5 seconds remaining.
At least in the last month. Alright, so let's get ourselves into the game. Wish Ice, Ice, Ice all the best of luck on that offlane.
Prepare for battle.
I'm not seeing any switches. So we need to double check before we fully get out. Because no one from, in fact, everyone from VG Gaming's just stopped. I don't know if something's gone wrong. It looks like the whole team's disconnected. Yep. Yep. They're all dropping. They're all dropping. So, pause. Players pause. Pause. No pause? There we go. HGT finally been nicely mad enough to pause the game. Because all of VG Gaming are stuck inside their base right now. And they're just like, okay, awesome, fantastic. Let's run through HGT at least. While VG Gaming bring themselves back from the dead. So we'll have Broodmother. Wait, are we... Is this them asking for a remake? Okay. Yes. Yes, it is. Woo! Okay. I won't panic then. And if we didn't go for a remake, I would have been yelling, oh, nope, no, let me get a number 2 slot. Don't want to take that number 1. Give the space to the Chinese. Oh, the Russians. Ah, of course the Russians just jump in there. Where's your respect? We're casting China. They should have the number 1. They should have the pole position. What is Kali? What is Kali? Is Kali like a bug? What's new Kali? Is that... Okay, maybe I shouldn't even be saying that word when I don't know what that word is. Either way. So you're going to try and run a Storm Spirit in the offlane. This... I can understand if you're trying to run him on the safe lane up against the Broodmother. Because then you feel maybe I can get a little bit of farm up against Spiderlings. But you're still gonna get... Okay, it's lag. Kali equals lag. Wonderful! Learn something every day. In fact, I think I actually knew that one before. But I just forgot it. Some things don't stick in the memory anymore. So, yeah. Storm Spirit in the off lane. No escape mechanisms. You've got a static remnant. Whoopity-doo-dah. That's not really going to help you that much. And you're not going to go for Vortex. Like, the only thing you got is, like, what, control the creep wave, but you don't have any abilities which can control the creep wave. It's not as though you got Nurse Shaker in your lineup either. So, it's going to be a rough ask for Ice to do the off lane. And you can't rely on, like, your supports to stack up at the jungle. So maybe if you hit, like, level 3 or level 5, so you get the third point up in the static remnant, then you could potentially flash farm inside the jungle. But in order to do that, you then have to take the farm away from the SF. And you want to kind of have the SF flash farm and be the big powerhouse. And the only other option is... Why are they wanting to change the CM? Because it doesn't have to be CM. Okay. They want to run the CM mode again anyway. Oh, it must have been the PL was... Was the PL a mispick? Was the PL a mispick? Because if that's the case, it would explain a little bit more about this, because the PL just seems a little bit out of place. If anything, it's... Yeah. Alright, we'll see. We'll see as we'll have to go through like a flash draft right now. So everything should just be bump, 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 bump. Ah, put faces boy. They know what they're picking up. This is gonna completely screw with all the stats that you'd want to use. How many times was Faceless Void banned out in the #1 position? Wow.
Vici Gaming's turn to pick.
Rest in peace, stats. Rest in peace. Alright, so... It has to be the same pickups, because then these bands would be screwing around with VG Gaming. So yeah, it's the same picks. It's the same picks. There's nothing different here. In fact, the PL's even being picked up in the 4th slot. Because I'd like to actually see the Broodmother's the last one, and then we get our Storm Spirit, and that completes our draft.
Vici Gaming's turn to pick.
And Ice. Okay, now that is more sense. There we go. Yes. Now this I can agree with. This makes a lot more logical sense. Ice over on the Phantom Lancer, give him a Reserve Award, give him a couple of tangos, and send him to the bottom lane. SF then goes to the mid, Hal then takes the Storm Spirit up towards the top. He's fantastic up against the Broodmother. FY can make sure he stays alive. Fenrir doing the roaming, rune ganking, or rune taking, or controlling, as well as help to gank up on the top lane up against the Broodmother. Makes perfect sense now, the VG Gaming lineup. As far as HGT, it's the safe lane with the Juggernaut, so it's SMJ to take up that role. Goal! Okay, in the trees. Ice, he's going to lance. He doesn't want to lance this, though, because he wants to have Doppelganger. It's the easiest escape mechanism he's got. So he's only going to lance if he knows they can get that stun from Fenrir, but Fenrir's at the back of the pack. So without him being able to get the stun, he can't do anything. But they VG Gaming are purposefully moving in like this, not to just find a kill, but to control up the Chen jungle. Make sure the Pretty Whore, even if you can just take out this camp as well as this camp, that's all you're really searching for. Because it just means you got so far to walk from side to side. And yeah, there you go. That camp as well as that camp. The Observer and the Sentries perfectly positioned. And then they're going to control up the 100 rune on bottom. And they'll go the way of Super. Going for the classic mid build. Alright, they're actually battling. Lance versus Blade. Lance versus Blade. It's SMJ. You're not going to be too happy there. Stout Shield, no Stout Shield. Ice. He wanted to cut through the tree line and then catch out the Juggernaut. He already did so much damage to the Juggernaut. Like, Ice doesn't care about this. He's got a set of tangos. Leaves another Observer Ward down. But yeah, his teammates just pinged him out and said, yo, man, like, we already have an Observer Ward here. I suppose at least the camp won't be pulled over. But that's not really what HGT are looking to do. The Chen, in fact, I almost think the Chen should move to the dire jungle. It just seems a little overcommitment for the Observer wards. I believe it's still in range to block this. But the position of this ward allows you to see what's happening with the Chen, where the other one does not. So SMJ's down to 1 tango charge. I think we're about to make that 0 in a moment. And in fact, there it is. And it just has the salve. So Kaka has to be a lot more active on the lane. But when you got FY here, being active on the lane is very, very difficult. He doesn't need boots, he just attacks directly into Kaka, who is the man carrying around with boots. Picks up FY, drags it down into that Blade Fury. The Shallow Grave will keep the Dazzle alive. Just trying to buy time for Ice to finish off Kaka. And FY on the run, but SMJ will catch up to him. That's first blood. A good rotation in, and they grab Ice with the Chen. And this aggro lane from VG Gaming is not looking that fantastic. The Chen's rotation timing was perfect. They should have seen it coming because of the Observer ward. At the same time, you could have planted the Observer ward here. Would have given you a little bit more information. But it was the Rubik getting up in the face of the Dazzle. And the Dazzle being willing to stand toe-to-toe with the Rubik that made that opening happen. Right, so the SF's starting to build up on his souls. Doesn't have his bottle up just yet. In fact, Air getting really, again, aggressive on Super. And Super needs one more attack. He's going to get it. He'll tick out. The downside about that Shadow Strike being up at level 2. There was enough damage to kill off the SF, but he does find the kill, which means he takes the experience the Queen of Pain does not. It's only an advantage of 1/4 of a level. And in fact, SF kind of does get hurt. He doesn't have all the souls up and running. But a kill is a kill. Then again, a bottle is a bottle, and he doesn't own one of those yet. Rubik looking for another opening here. Over an Ice. Not the easiest kill to get, primarily because, well, you start the spin and then he goes into Doppelganger. And there's 1 second of time where he's not going to get attacked, and you can push yourself closer back towards your own tower. And the PL's escape mechanisms are amazing. And the fact he's here with the Dazzle, okay, yeah, he doesn't want to be here though. Doppelganger's amazing until this guy. The Saturn Mind Stealer. One more burn, and, yeah.
Money changes hands.
You're going to be looking at little to no mana. Taking out 100 of that 149. Now he could Doppelganger after being burned, but he'll only have 1 up his sleeve. Means no Lancers. Fenris trying to set up for a gank in mid. He has to start with a Hex, and he's going to get it as well. Follow-up stun, the Razors. 1 more to connect, but it's not enough. Just blinks himself away to safety. Maybe that nice early null talisman definitely gives a little bit of help for the stats. But having Shadow Fiend a little bit too far back. Like, he had to be, because if he wasn't, he would have revealed the fact they were about to go for this gank. If he got up, like, if he got really aggressive against the Quap. And then Quap would have realized something was up. I don't know how to say your name, Horror. But I'm glad you're having a fun time during the broadcast.
Radiant's middle tower.
Right, so Hal's doing a fantastic job up on top. This is one of these times. Okay, FY. Trouble. Real trouble. In fact, I think death trouble. He's going to Shallow Grave and TP out. That's the only way you're surviving this. But yeah. How about a lot of support coming from the line? Obviously, with Sentry Wards coating the top. That's the Radiant Sentry Ward, of course. But that one was to de-ward the initial Sentry Ward planted down by the Lion. But the fact that Hao is going up against a Broodmother that is still prioritizing going for the build into Spiderlings means that this Static Remnant is able to get a lot of extra money. I mean a lot of extra money. You're 36 for 11 right now, but the Spiderlings are still worth a crap ton. So he's sitting at 2.6k net worth, 5 minutes in. What's he going to buy? Is he just going to go straight treads? Yeah, he's going straight treads. Keep the switches up. Keep the farm coming in. And these Spirelings have stopped feeding themselves. Remnant after Remnant. Icy taking damage from it as well. Just racks up more and more CS. And makes this Storm Spirit a lot more early game as opposed to this mid game. Because you're going to get the Orchid at a really quick rate. And the Orchid is death to heroes like the Queen of Pain, because she won't have a BKB. Ice being heavily attacked. He's going to try and doppelganger on his SMJ. No, they want Kaka. He's the easier kill in the trees. If only they had themselves a stun. They didn't have enough time to unleash the damage because of the telekinesis up. Ice trying to get a little greedy there, leaving his tranquil boots on the ground. There's your doppelganger. The SMJ reads it perfectly. Spins for the kill. The Storm Spirit also died on the top lane in the meantime. So you are going up against a soul-ringing Broodmother. Because of that, it's never-ending spam of spawn Spirelings. And this is the point where you can attack directly into the Storm Spirit. Like, that's just that continuous spam into How. He's only got 700 HP. Not a lot to work with. Not up against a Broodmother that's continuously spamming at you and regenerating inside of his own webs. Nice, trying to battle again on his SMJ, looking for those crits, then the Omni Slash. Oh, that's the third kill now going the way of this Juggernaut. Momentum is not the friends here of VG Gaming, it's the complete opposite. This PL pick is kind of not working. Not after, like, when they lost 2 of them, it was already troublesome. But it's the fact that HGT are keeping the pressure on VG Gaming. They're now even smoke ganking in, making sure this Dazzle cannot find space, and they'll be able to kill him quite easily. Shallow Grave or no Shallow Graves. SMJ just runs himself up. Okay, Troll Trap, Centaur Stomp as well. I said easily, SMJ didn't really commit to it properly. But Chen had the nuke. Switch the aggro. Bob bob. But they don't want to have anyone from VG Gaming feeling comfortable here. Ice. Got a doppelganger in. Wow. Okay, Kaka. Run. Needs to run faster. Telekinesis pick up. And with the stomp, Ice, the stomp. It happened when it was up in the air. And Super just said, screw it. All right. They bring in the gun power. And look at those guns on Super. Able to take out 2. He's got the max range raise. Unfortunately for him, this is the raise. This is the distance. But he's catching up with the movement speed. 340 versus now, not 240, now 248. Air, Super, and the raise! He couldn't do it. Super will take a triple kill. Queen of Pain will get the kill. So she'll take the money for it. The experience goes the way of the Rubik. But even then, Ice gets down there to catch up to him. So a really great fight coming in for VG Gaming. Really, teamfight recap? Really? VG Gaming just looking absolutely solid as far as that fight goes. As far as the early point of the game, that offlane looked like absolute arse. But the rotation from the SF really did wonders. They still have to look towards this top lane with the Broodmother, because no one's able to contest her anymore. Hao picks up Dust, but he needs to have more support. In fact, he gave the Dust over to the Lion because he didn't have a slot. Welcome to the lane, Hao. Costa Swan's battling charge the second he comes in. And this Broodmother won't let up. Already back off cooldown. Spray it in. And Hao's has got to trigger this salve. He doesn't want to, though, until he's back in range of the tower, because obviously that Spiderling could have easily cancelled it. She's using the bottle charges instead. Okay, there's the salve. Takes the initial point of damage. Regenerates as quickly as possible. This is that kind of like flash farming that a Storm Spirit can do. When you're going for a 3-0-4 build, it doesn't take long to take out these stacks. And just restricts the farming as well of the Broodmother. Are we going for a Roshan? Nope, we're going... Yeah, not with these 3 heroes. We're going for a kill on bottom. They're looking for Ice. And they're going to find him. They need to get the telekinesis straight away, though. Which they didn't. Doppelganger away. They do find the real Ice. Obviously, it's the one that's running away. Super Requiem of Souls from inside the tree line. They're going to catch out Air in the trees. While the Shallow Grave protects Ice. He doesn't have time to get his 6 charges back off cooldown. And ZSMJ with the Hand of God. It keeps him alive for now. Tanking up the tower. The Healing Ward's bringing his life up again as well. And they do retreat out. So a 2-for-1 trade-off. They lose their Queen of Pain again. She goes 2 for 3. The Juggernaut at 5 for 1. He's a very happy chappy. Hello, Doppelganger. A Doppelganger Rubik. That really does absolutely nothing apart from become almost like a semi-blink. It's the only blink ability he's really going to find. Hal. Oh, they're going to find the courier. And once that got on, had the Mask of Madness recipe for SMJ. And they're also going to get the kill over on the Juggernaut. Now the Chen army might be here, but when the SF also arrives, you pull that Chen army back. Top tower's been forced out pretty hard. It's Hal. Okay, just one quick jump, another quick jump. He really wants these last hits, but a little bit of a, I don't know if you can really call it a mistiming, but starting with the Remnant might have been a better option than the Ball Lightning. So HGT realize they're going to get forced down on this bottom lane. That Rubik trying to use Doppelganger to survive, and they got more than enough damage to get through him before the TP is done. So the Rubik will die. It's a tower trade-off time. The tier 1 tower in the mid will go the way here of HGT. Storm Spirit jumping in, looking for the kill over on the Chen as Air. He just blinks himself away. Leaves him to die. The Chen army will also collapse. But the tower went down in the mid. Was destroyed by the Chen, so we get something back. TP. So SMJ doesn't want to let this tower go. Sonic Wave with the Blink Scream. PL had no time to Doppelganger. He would have had to one charge as well for that to happen. Fenrir with a Finger of Death.
Dire's top tower is
So SMJ still got more than enough life points to survive this, and Fenrir does not. The Shadow Strike was sticking him out. FY was trying to also reach him in time to either deny or Shallow Grave.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Either way, Lion and PL getting wiped on the bottom lane. But they hold their tier 1 tower, both sides. In fact, HGT deciding not to deny up that tier 1 tower on bottom. They don't have a tree protector, so there's no way to regenerate it back up again, but doesn't really seem to be much of a problem. Right now, they're just happy making sure they've got every single tower up. And if Ice wants to try and grab it, the Queen of Pain will be more than happy to TP down there. Unfortunately, 6 seconds, but Creep Wave won't reach it in 6 seconds. But Ice is going to start to get bigger with his illusions. He's only got 1 point up for the Juxtapost at the moment. And in fact, there's the Denial realizing he's coming. Maybe HGT just forgot. Quite possible. Trying to be more efficient moving across the map. Pretty Horse in a lot of trouble. That Ice needs him to come closer. This is the vision right now of the Radiant side. And Ice should be aware of this. That it is nighttime. And Pretty Horse's vision is kind of crap. But you called out SMJ on bottom. He's got Omni Slash. Ice needs to make more of himself just to protect himself. He's actually hunting these the healing ward. That wonderful thing of Phantom Rush. Later on, you get more levels than that. For now, it's all about Doppelganger as well as the Lance. And of course, the ultimate. Oh, Ice, you don't have Doppelganger. But he's got multiple versions of himself. So this SMJ can't really do anything about this. If he spins, then he just buys more time for them to attack. Hand of God's gone off from Chen. But Hal is going to kill him off pretty quick, pretty efficiently. Now, at the same time, maybe not that efficient. Ball Lightning. Kaka, he's going to jump after him, right on top, but the Hex from Fenrir, follow-up stun. The Queen of Pain Scream is able to reach up to the Storm Spirit. And Rubik, he still got Ball Lightning, gets inside the pit, couldn't deny himself off to Roshan, but just jumps to the high ground. Kaka, moving beautifully as this Rubik. Queen of Pain Sonic Wave, it's not enough damage, and the Yule Scepter into the Requiem of Souls. There is nothing but his name. FY.
Snow Shadow.
You didn't have to die. You could have been a contender. Ice trying to defend now. All he can do is lance and make more of himself and hope he can kill off his spiderlings in time. But his damage output is piss poor. They're still owning a Ring of Aquila and a Tranquil Boot PL. But that's nothing to really be happy about. You got 1,000 gold up your sleeve. But what do you even do right now as the PL? Kind of need to go into something like you need to have your Vlads and Diffusal. Like that's just the way you run your PL. If you're feeling really happy about everything, then you could potentially go into a casual Yasha. Well, Kaka jumps up, but the real storm comes on the way in, and Fenrir, well, he's in trouble. The spawn Spirlings were killing, but it's a 1-for-1 trade-off, and Storm with a long jump. They do have the vision over an Icy because of the dust. It will wear off in a couple of moments' time, so they're going to use him up. Into the Spirits, the Lances as well. They have more detection. They just have the Razors. Super grabbed himself a double kill. The Shadow Fiend finding so much momentum, and you can see it in the net worth. 9.7k to the 7k of the Juggernaut, and sitting in second position, map wide of the net worth. Overall, HGT is still going to hold the advantage. Not in experience, but
tower is under attack.
they hold it in gold. Because they're up by 2 towers. Well, 1.5 towers. The bottom tower was denied by HGT. That was their only one they've lost so far. And they took out the mid and the top without a denial happening. Alright, so it looks like Ice. With a blade, we don't really know exactly what he's going. Like, it could be the Archer. It could be the Diffuser blade. If he buys a second blade in a moment, then we'll know. And 300 gold, we'll know. Because he may as well fly it out to himself anyway. We might also be trying to keep it secret from HGT. The more items you show, the more HGT might try and prioritize killing him off. But right now, the massive priority should be killing off the Shadow Fiend. But the lineup really isn't one of those. I know it's going to be weird to say it because you got a Queen of Pain on the field. But the lineup isn't one of those lineups which just jumps across the map and kills people. Like the Broodmother does it by slowly whittling away at you, be it through Raxes or just, okay, well, Dust, Sentries, the whole shebang. They are just going to keep jumping for Icy. Finger of Death committal. The old-fashioned way of killing off the Broodmother. Use the smoke. The second your smoke breaks, trigger Dust. That's it. So Ice. I really want to see what you're doing here. He's got enough of the Asha.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
A lot of stuff being purchased up. Hal's going in for that Bloodstone. Bit by bit, he's getting there. I say bit by bit, he's actually there.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Juggernaut's able to work through another tower. It's the last tier 1 tower of VG Gaming. But HGT, they are kind of playing in a bit of a timeline here. Sure, the Juggernaut's fantastic. He can carry in late game, but not up against this VG Gaming lineup. The Queen of Pain, the Chen, well, maybe not as much Chen dropping off, but the Broodmother definitely will start to drop off. You're walking around with an Orchid Broodmother, which means you're trying to fight. You're not just going for the carry build. You're not going for the very stable late mid game as well. When I say late mid game, I'm talking like 35 minutes in. When you build like a Hand of Midas over on your Broodmother, you're going to find your timing with your Butterfly, your Monkey King Bar, your BKB, and your ability to kill off VG Gaming as a real fighter.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Like, this kind of build means you've always got to be finding pickups. But the last times that there's been kills on this top lane, it's been the Broodmother dying to VG Gaming's gank, which slows down this Orchid play from the Broodmother. It kind of screws her up a little bit. And she can try and silence over on the Storm Spirit. But the Storm Spirit's... Wait. Yeah, was that a mistake buy? No. Hao is actually buying a Staff of Wizardry. I'm interested to know for exactly what purpose that is. I doubt we're looking at him. Yeah, so we get Diffuser Blade before we get anything else. Okay, that's no surprise. Yeah. But just from the Storm Spirit, that's an interesting one. Because I was expecting him to go more like a BKB. Because there's so much magical damage on the HGT lineup that... And also control, technically, could come out that getting something like that would be worthwhile. It almost feels like it's going to be a Yule Scepter. I doubt he's going to go Necros, but that would be one way to at least scout out for the Broodmother. But are you really wanting to put a Necro book onto a Storm Spirit? Not really. And you've already got one of your Yule Scepters. That one's in the hands of the Shadow Fiend. Hal's hoping he gets close enough, he can get some extra hits. Okay, yeah, the Spawn Sparkling Charge came too late. With Finger of Death back off cooldown as well. HGT have to be very cautious with this Broodmother. Don't want to keep feeding that much experience over every single time he dies. Yeah. So the Diffusal Blade, by the way, instead of going for the Vladimirs to start with, is primarily because Ice is just manipulating with the illusions. He can make so many of them. The fact it's already up to level 13. When he hits level 16, there's just so many PLs that create so quickly that you're just going to be drained of all mana. So things like Hand of God, which burn through quite a large chunk of mana, and not to mention the Mech Charge, which the Chen should be able to buy right now, also burns through so much mana. If you could remove even just one of these heals from the fight, you're going to be really happy with Ice. And with that haste rune, looking to chase it a little bit deeper. He's going to find the 2 cores. Sans is over on House. There's no Vortex to hold him there. Just an easy pick. I think anyone wants to come closer to Ice. In fact, he's going to start into the Mana style as well now. So, really, a PL that's starting to just get all the freedom in the world, because they can't contest him on bottom lane. When you go 4 points up in Doppelganger, every 10 seconds, you're able to disappear for 1 second, create multiple versions of yourselves, and then you can basically fight until your Doppelganger comes back off cooldown, and then you just do it all over again. So if you also have a Vladimir's offering, you never really have to go back, because you're life leeching while you're able to basically kite the enemy as well. There's SMJ. You got Lancers, he has to spin. He needs to protect his mana. Because his Omni Slash is 270 mana. Healing Ward, yeah, basically after 1 Lance worth of attacks, he doesn't have enough mana to use his full combination. And he knows it. Even these Chen creeps have to be careful about that. So the tier 2 tower is going to drop. Hearing Storm Spirit activating DD, it's unwillingly, because he doesn't have his bottle on him. I'm going to take the tier 2 tower. Wait, super? They're actually wanting to go in. Storm Spirit is. Jumping onto air in the mid, then jump straight back out again before he's going to get orchided. But it's the bottom lane. It's the reason why Super cancelled his TP. VG Gaming want to try and go high ground. They believe the PL's in the sweet spot. They get rid of the healing ward, and ZSMJ, he's got no mana. I say no mana. He's got enough for a spin. But that's not enough. That's the reason why he's going back. They need the Omni Slash to do some serious lifting during this fight. At least he'll have his BKB now. He's spamming Illusion Wave after Illusion Wave. And brought the tower down to 500 of its HP. At the same time, looks like Chen was doing the same thing on top. I say Chen, Broodmother, and Chen. So VG Gaming just find themselves in more of a trade position. So we've still got more time for Roshan. 5 minutes, in fact, so 2 the potential 3 minute spawn time. Also means the Aegis is gone. So, no joy on that front. Just means VG Gaming go back into a farming situation. I say farming situation, they really need to push out the top lane. I don't care if they have to move as a full group. Oh, goodbye PL. And Fenrir might also be on the chopping block. If Juggernaut can keep up with him, of course. He's not going to. Don't want to take the risk of coming too deep underneath that dire tower. They had their own observer ward up so they could see if support was going to move in. With Hex, Stun, and Finger of Death, be a little bit more cautious about things. Now, but VG Gaming need to get more map control back. How's up here on the top lane? He did eventually buy up that Yule Scepter, but they need to get rid of this tier 1 tower. While they don't do this, it's just so easy for the Broodmother to hold that top lane. Keep the pressure up all the time. Oh, we're going to Requiem. We're going to Requiem. Air. Oh, okay. He's got Orchid. But then Mana Star from Super breaks free. And SMJ was able to get out the Ancient Stack. That was this Observer Ward going to work. He saw the Dazzle doing it. That was a trip stack as well. Really gave great money coming in for the Juggernaut. I'm fairly certain either PL or SF's going to be really angry about that. Kaka. Looking towards the mid. Super's just standing there right on top of the Observer Ward, and Karka's going to get himself in range. It's the same time the Scardy's going to be delivered, so there's going to be some extra stats in for the Shadow Fiend, making it a little bit more difficult to kill. In fact, there is no legitimate hero committing to this. It was the Rubik telekinesis pickup and the Chen army moving forward, forcing some rotation in, but Hal, long jump to the Rubik, and he's going to orchid him as well. The Ghost is protecting Karka for now, but a Yule Scepter up into the air. One race will connect and Karka will drop. Air, well, there goes your Sonic Wave, but it's screaming at nothing. Hal's also going to go down. I mean, Pretty Hall's going to go down to Hal. Finger of Death from Fenrir. After the Troll Trap was there, Hal couldn't get in range to get that last attack off. But 3 heroes lost for HGT. Looks like ZSMJ's also having a bit of a fun time with Ice Ice Ice. He stopped moving. In fact, he microed one of his illusions, so ZSMJ couldn't tell which one was the real one. So he stopped his hero on the spot, making it look like it was just one of the doppelganger creations that didn't auto-attack. Still, doesn't stop him from dying. The Super coming up to the high ground. Take care of the creep wave, and that tower is toast. No fortification. They can take out the range rack straight away if they want to, but instead they're going to commit towards the melee. Juggernaut's ready to fight. Queen of Pain isn't, however, and that weave is a real problem. They didn't finish the job. The illusions, okay, they turn around. They'll finish the job. The melee Rex is gone. So SMJ will reveal the Mjolnir. Oh, that's going to be a critical thing for him. It just means a lightning shield they've got to deal with. Having someone like the Dazzle, you just trigger the weave. I thought that might be enough for them to hang around, but they triggered it and then it was just a straight fallback. It almost looked like the reaction you'd have if the Dazzle was over at HGT. But as security, the weave, the cooldown's just so low anyway. If HGT did chase, it would have been suicide for them. Battling into huge amounts of armor. Yes, there's a crap ton of magical and pure damage coming out from HGT. As Ice 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 going to finally... I'm waiting for just this push from him, solo on top, to start bringing down the buildings. FY, a little bit of trouble. We've actually stolen here by Karka. Able to get a couple of players. FY, the only choice he's got is to TP himself back to base. It looks like he's going to survive. That Orchid Pop wasn't enough damage. And Ice 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 coming into the engagement. Juggernaut with no mana. Ice Ice Ice, Blink Scream, Super, the Requiem, doing some work. And Karka, well, he actually steals Requiem of Souls. He doesn't get the full charge off. It was just the death part of the ulti that went to work. And Hal with a long jump onto the Juggernaut. There's no more chasing on him. It's a 2-for-1 trade-off. The two supports for HGT. They're about to lose a little bit more. The Storm Spirit will die on one point, but no, Icy not dying. Back up and over. The weave from FY gives him the vision on Icy for a moment. He'll just have to hang back. But 2 cores for VG Gaming dropping. Obviously, fight advantage goes the way of HGT because of that. That's a dire sentry wall. They can at least see these spiderlings coming in. And the Broodmother's going to be happy to move now that she's got her 23 points of armor back. House becoming just a little bit more tankier. Kind of a crazy thing as well with the Storm Spirit. Jumping in with the Shiva's Guard. The area of effect remains, so you can basically trigger the Shiva's Guard here. But as it keeps coming out, it's gonna have effect. So if you come all the way down here, you still get the maximum effect range or area. Oh, long jump up, long jump back in again. The Broodmother gonna trigger the BKB, and very visible and very, very dead. Huge amount of damage coming the way, but SMJ, no Omni Slash. He's in here, but it's 11 seconds until he's got the ultimate, so he's got to do it the old-fashioned way, which isn't good enough. Not when it's a Shallow Grave protecting FY. Still a couple of Spirelings that can chase him down and properly kill him off, but the rest of the team is in more trouble as Super grabs himself a triple kill, about to be an Ultra. In fact, they just call the GG. The Spirelings never even got the kill over on FY, and HGT just feel that Shadow Fiend is way, way too big. Nice little glory celebration there. So game number 1 goes the way of VG Gaming. Game number 2 will be coming up in a moment. Of course, we have 3 2-game series coming your way for D2CL today, where we'll have VG Gaming versus eHome coming up next, and eHome versus VG Gaming Potential will be playing tonight. So great games. great games for our day. This is only game number 1 of this 2-game series, so stay tuned and we'll be back after this short break.